I'm out here today and I'm moving stuff around, getting the car set up for their final winter hibernation so I can get working on projects, making room here. As you can see, I have an empty bay here. I have a bunch of stuff up there. It's going to have to be moved. Possibly going to have to move some of the stuff here on the wall as well. But what I'm at here now is something I've got for a couple of years now, and I got to get it in here and get started on trying to get it hooked up. This is it here. It's an old wheel alignment ramp. I picked this up. The reason why I like these here is because there's no posts. Okay, a friend of mine got one in his garage and I really like it. You can put it up full height and walk underneath it, and it's a scissor style ramp in the middle here. And what I want to do is I want to get it in the garage, get it working, and I'm going to shorten it a small bit just to make room. I don't want to be tripping over it in the garage. So most times you can put these in floor. I'm not going to bother with that right now. I'm just going to put it on top of the floor, do that much with it. But what I got to do here today is I got to move this thing. That's been parked on that like over a year now. I put that up on it last fall and it's been there ever since. I don't know if it runs. I haven't started it. Haven't done a thing with it. Sat here the whole summer, parked like that. That's where that car was stored to. I never got at this car because I was at Wendy's car and this got put on hold. And hopefully all goes well, this here will be worked on now this spring. So I got that to move, and I got a bunch of wood over here I got to put away. My plan is to get someone to come with a flatbed truck and lift this up and put it in the garage. I got an old chassis section here. I got to move all this out of the way, get all this straightened away, get the car off it. I want to cut these off because it's going to be tricky getting in the garage. I don't need them. I'm going to chop them off the sides of it here. Cut them off. That's where the rotating things used to sit. And I'm just going to cut them off so I'll make it easier to get it in the garage. So I'm going to get started on this now and take you guys along. Yeah, I suppose that's not seized up. Been sat here now, I haven't done a thing with it. Just parked it, took battery out of it and left it. I'm going to throw battery in this now and see if I can get it going. I know I'm going to need to get a drop of gas. And by the looks of that water in that intake, I hope there's nothing down the motor. We're going to find out. cold start. Let's see if this will start, no? Not going to put no gas on again. Not going to do nothing. Just going to turn the door. See if it starts. A little bit of a tick in her. That'll go away. Brand new, sure boy. Car never missed a beat. That's been off the island with me 5 times now, I think, and that's set for well over a year and started up and way to go. Anyway, I'll put her there for now. If I get a chance to figure out what I'm going to do with her. Oh, here's the ramp. I've got this now. I'm pretty close on. This would be its 2nd winter, possibly its 3rd. I don't know. I got to get it inside, figure out if I'm going to do something with it, get it working. Find out if it's any good. I got 2 ramps there. I got the pump system there, but I don't know if it's any good. I'm looking into seeing if I can get another one. I would like to have at least one. But it seems to be, it's in good shape. There's some surface rust and that on it, you know. All got a scale on it, but it's all solid. And sizing up the whole point because I don't need it this big. The width is fine. It's 17 feet long, and I'm thinking about shortening it up to 15. And because 15 feet is the wheelbase, like the ramp will be here and here on my truck, so it'll just get on the ramp. And I'm sizing that up because I like to have it so I can walk around it in the garage. That's the biggest thing. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in the garage. This is 17 feet now. It's 2 inches over 7 feet the way it is here now. I'm going to go in and draw it on the garage floor where it would actually lay, so I can actually get an idea of how big this thing is in the garage. I know for a fact these here got to be cut off on both sides. From outside to outside here is a little tad less than 8 feet. It just barely fit into the garage door. From here to the other side is 7 feet, which is plenty. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut these off and clear them all together. I don't need them. They were just for the big platforms that went on them. You can slide them in and out. So I'd like for that to be all flat if you ask me, but we'll cross that bridge. But I know they got to be cut off. So I played around with a footprint, and this is the actual size. And if I brought it in here where it actually fall to is along here, and I would like to have it so it's centered in the bay doors. I was thinking about it'd be nice if it was moved over a bit, but it'd be too hard to load cars onto it all the time. So I'm lacking a lot of room on this side over here. So all of this gotta go. I'm gonna have to get clear all that. I'm gonna have to move that down, find homes for it all, different place to put it all. Up here in the front, this is going to be trouble to get out of here because of the brake. So I only got so much room here to wheel this out and roll it out. So I got to figure out something for that. That's going to have to be moved. That can stay there. I can probably move that down. I might be able to put the welder on that end, be closer to the bench, so it might be a wise thing to do. And I can, over here there's no issues with movement and stuff like that. And where my stand is too, mounting on the floor here, the 4 holes for that, that's far enough away from that there should be no problems for me to put the bender back in her, and I could set it all up for doing bending and whatever, right? So. But that is the footprint. I'm also sizing up. I talked about shortening it. If I cut off a foot on either end, that'll give me that much more. The way this is set up now, I can put the ramp down here, and I can close the door with the ramp there. And the biggest problem I got is like coming in and out through the man door. I don't want to be tripping over this coming in and out, see? And if I cut that off a foot, it'd be great on that end there. And up here, it'll solve the problem. I wouldn't have to move the welder if I cut it off up here a foot. That will give me a deck of 15 feet. Right now, the deck is 17 feet to the end of the tongue, right? So, and my truck, the wheelbase on my truck will fit on a 15-foot ramp. Now, I'm not worried about putting that on. Nothing's going to be big and heavy on this because my garage is only limited to this door, okay? I want it for projects. I more or less got it for doing metal fabrication on the lower side of vehicles. I like to get cars up to the height that I can do rockers, doors, all that type of stuff. Bombs of doors, and get it up at a nice comfortable height that I can work on it. So what I'm going to do here now, I'm going to go ahead now and relocate all this, clean all this up here, and that'll be my next chore. So I swapped that around, got everything moved around there. I got room now that if I want to move this out, I can. And it's pretty neat having it there. I can just plug it into the wall and I can just reach for the welder. I haven't got to worry about moving it out to try to weld anything on the bench, which is handy. And I got everything relocated from this wall around the shop. I found a home for everything as I moved it. I moved all the steel over here on this wall, tucked it in the corner. Had these little blocks. I made up these little blocks. They just slide in against the wall, and they got a 2x3 on the end of it. And there's 2x4 there and a 2x4 there. And all that is just keeps stuff from rolling out away from it. And it keeps the metal up off the floor. So if the floor gets wet, the bottom of the metal don't get wet. Because you can see over here, I was having a problem with that. Every time I brought something in here that had a drop of water on it, everything ran to this wall here. So, and you can see metal got rusty. So, but that's it. So now that I got this figured out, I'm here sizing things up more. That cabinet is going to have to go off the wall. When I'm stood up here, I can walk down the side of this here now pretty good, okay? When I turns around and walks down here, walks down this side of the car, this here would be the side of the ramp. The car will probably be here, so I'll be able to walk tight to the ramp coming down here. But when I gets to here, this is right in the way here. I can't even barely fit across here. So I'm going to have to relocate that cabinet. I'm not doing it today now, mind you, but at some point, that's going to have to be all dismantled and taken down, and I think I'm going to take that, move that over there. That's where that's going to go. And because I need shelving, I do need it. And that's a nice heavy-duty shelf, and I want to keep it. I want to keep everything on this side of the garage. I want to close that into. I want to put that box over that, cover that in, so, and put a venting system to the outside so it hauls fresh air from outside. It's getting pretty dirty. All right, that's all grinding dust. So now that I got all that figured out, the next thing now is to go out and prep the ramp to come in here. All I got to do with the ramp is to cut off these ears here. So I'm going to rip the plasma cutter now, come up and whip them off there and whip them off over there, and then they'll be ready to go. I got everything else situated to the whole point that the only thing I got to do now is figure out some way that when I lays it on the garage floor I can roll it, because the boys are not going to be able to get this in the garage all the way with the flatbed. I can only get it to the end of the door, so I got to have this so I can roll it. So I'm going to work on that. I might put it on 4 casters yet. When he brings it in, I'll lay it on casters, move it over, and then I'll figure out some way of getting it off it. So first off, let's get them cut off. So I got that ready, got them cut off. I got 4 of these taken out now. Hopefully they'll work out fine. And it's just a matter, I give the boys a call and get them to come up with the wrecker. So until the wrecker shows up. Well, she's in her. I want to thank the boys from R&D Towing for helping me out here today. Boys are good hands. They've always helped me out over the years, moving stuff around, especially when you're dealing with a lot of junk all the time. But we got it in her, and the boys got her set up nice and everything. Look, she's pretty good where she's to. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to put this up on 4 stands, the main platform sections, and I'm going to have it so I want to do an inspection on it. I haven't seen none of the stuff that's in underneath here, so when I get it up on 4 stands, these here are holding it together. I'm going to cut them bolts off and let them fall to the floor. I think my plan with this is now is I'm going to dismantle this and clean it up and inspect everything, replace all the lines, any lines running on it, inspect the cylinders. That's the big thing for me. I'm worried about the cylinders. And unseize all the guide wheels and stuff like that that's underneath this to make sure there's no bushings or anything worn. And it's a big undertaking, I can tell you that, but I think what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to leave this one here. I got it in. It's the first part of it. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the flip side.